Hi, everyone. How are you guys all doing today? So great to be with you. My name is Elaine Turso, and I am here to help you find your gold mine. And the gold mine is important because it allows us to stand out in our industry. And I know that many of you would probably love to figure out a way to stand out amongst all of the noise where there's a million people that do what you do. So how do you stand out? How do you speak to the underserved? Every industry has what I like to call an underserved or an untapped market, meaning that I'm going to give you an example. The example could be like the one that I like to use the most. The example I like to use the most is for a friend of mine who was selling essential oils. Most essential oils, hi Tia, most essential oils are targeted to women. But do men use essential oils? Actually, yeah, they do. But how come I never see anyone focusing on that demographic and trying to support and enhance that is an untapped market, in my opinion. If someone here sells essential oils, I am telling you right now, focus on the men. I'm just saying right now, there is a whole untapped demographic there that will help you stand out amongst everyone else that sells essential oils. The same could be true for, any industry has an untapped market, right? I love that, Tia. Like, your husband loves them more than you do. My husband thinks they're voodoo magic. After he burnt his finger, he had like a burn from like touching something hot on the oven or whatever. And I was like, oh, let me ask my girl, because I don't sell essential oils, but I have them. And I'm like, what could we use? And it was like lavender and frankincense or something like that. And so I put some on his finger and he was like, oh my God, this stuff is like voodoo. I was like, it is like voodoo. So But I'm just saying, like, I think that there's a whole untapped market there. And so really what we're going to do is I'm going to walk you through my process that I use to help my clients find their gold mine, to find that untapped market, so that moving forward, you can really start to talk to those people, talk to that audience. So the first thing that I always, always, always start with first is the results. So you need to know clearly what results you bring to the table. What results do your clients get by working with you, by buying your products? And is it a monetary or an emotional result? Very different. If you help people make money, then that is a monetary. If you help them solve a problem, eliminate a pain that they're having, and I'm not talking about physical pain. It could be physical pain, but I'm not talking about just physical pain. I'm talking about, I'm talking about emotional pain, like that. Let me think here. I'm trying to think of an example. I love to use examples as much as possible. So an emotional pain could be that I am never in the photographs. Okay, I used to be a photographer. T and I both share that in common. So I'm going to use photography as an example. As a photographer, I'm not helping people make more money, but I am helping them solve an emotional problem, which is that women typically are not in the photographs. And so I'm helping them solve that emotional pain. I'm helping them create lasting memories that women will live forever, legacy, right? So what is the emotional pain or monetary result that people can expect to achieve by working with you? And you must be specific. Like, literally, I want you to be specific. And it must, like I always say, use the words of your clients. So Look back through testimonials, look back to what people say after they work with you. What are the words that they're using? Use their words in your marketing messaging, because here, remember this, it's not about you, it's about them. It's not what you think they want, it's what they actually want. So you are selling them what they actually want. So use their words, okay? So once you know the results, then we're going to look at our audience. And our audience is, so when I had talked about, we're going to look at your current customer base. So this is your audience. So some questions I want you to ask yourself, and I want you to write these down. I have a worksheet. You guys do not have the worksheet. So I'm going to walk you through. This is the workbook that I actually go through with my clients. So what do your clients say about working with you? Question number 1. So write down some key common phrases. So like I've done this before where I went through all of my, I had done this like survey of, I interviewed 43 women. This was back when I was doing photography, and I wanted to know like their deep down darkest secrets, and people told them to me, and it was amazing, you guys. I'm just saying right now. It was amazing to hear what was really going on inside the mind of a woman who I wanted to photograph. And so I wrote down, I went through everything and I just highlighted all of the words that like really stood out. And it was amazing to really see what was really going on in their lives. And then I was like, how can I help solve those problems? So if you were to ask your clients, what do they say about working with you? You're going to write those down. The next question is, who has the problem that you can solve? And I'm not talking about a niche. This is completely opposite than a niche. I'm not asking you to say, oh, she's a lady, she goes to yoga, she has 2 kids, and she makes 80 grand a year, and she's really, no, that's not what we're doing here. What I'm asking you is, who has the problem that you can solve? Currently, the problem, I help coaches and consultants and mentors and things like that. I help them solve their problems. So like, that's who I help. So who do you help? Do you help women? Do you help men? Do you help children? Do you help everyone? And I hate it when we say everyone, but thinking about when you think back to that emotional pain or that monetary pain, who has those problems? Is it industry? Is it like specific? Okay. The next question is, what can you teach other people? And why this is important is because this is all about value. So what can you teach that will help someone that they don't actually have to buy anything from you? So for me, I love to teach. Teaching is like a huge part of my business. I love to teach people how to get out of their own damn way and get shit done. Like I love that. Accountability, stuff like that. But I also love to teach people strategy. I love to teach people basically anything about business. I love to talk about business. And so that's how I provide value, is that I give a lot of content away. I do. I give a lot of content away because why? If I can help someone for free solve a problem, what do you think that's going to do to me? It elevates me as the expert. So what can you teach? And the reason why is because it will elevate you as an expert. It will help build your credibility. It will help you build authority in your industry. So what can you teach? What are you like? So do you have to be the expert at everything? No, I'm not. But I'll tell you something. My brain, the way my brain works is if I want to teach something or if I want to learn how to do something, I have to teach it. That's how my brain works. I don't know if anyone else here can relate to that, but that's how my brain works. So if I want to learn how to be a bookkeeper, I have to teach bookkeeping, which please don't ever ask me to do that. No, I would rather stab myself in the eye. I hire a bookkeeper. For me, like what I teach is I teach people how to launch their signature, their flagship, their offer, their program, their system, their companion product, like stuff like that. That's what I love to teach. And so what do you love to teach? Drop me something in the comment. And the thing that I want you to remember is that you only need to know more than the general public. So if you are in your industry, it's likely that you know more than the general public does. So what can you teach them? You don't have to be the expert. You don't have to be the know-it-all. Okay? And I love the phrase, I'll check into that for you. I'll get back with you. Let me investigate that a little bit more. I'm not sure, but I will do the research and I will get back with you. That's how you circumvent the fear of not knowing it all, and what if they ask me a question I don't know the answer to, which is why a lot of people are afraid to teach, is because they're afraid that someone's going to ask them a question that they don't have the answer to. So that's the phrase that you use. I don't know. That's a really great question. Let me research that and get back to you. Boom, problem solved. The next question, how long do your clients typically work with you? Is it a day? Is it a week? Is it months? Is it a year? Like, how long do people work with you until they get results? So super easy to, right? You know what that is typically. And if you're providing a service like a photographer, you're working with someone probably one time. You're one and done. Let's see here. Customer testimonials. The reason why this is important is because I want you to focus on one person, one testimonial of a transformation that someone experienced that just really touched your heart. Their story resonates with you in a way that you would love to share their story with the world. So, who would that person be and why? Okay, so now we're going to move into who are your customers. So this is a homework assignment for you. I love to give homework, but what you're going to do, I'm going to give you some things that I want you to write down, and you're going to make a little chart. So like I made a little chart like this, right? So columns, rows, okay? So you're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 columns. Okay, so when you do your sheet, 9 columns. You're going to write down their name. You're going to write down their age, their gender, their location in the world, their income level, marital status, parental status, their race, and what I like to call PIE, P-I-E. So you're going to, PIE stands for, P stands for profitable, I stands for influential, and E stands for enjoyable. So I'm going to explain what that means. So basically, what I've done here is I'm going to let you see this here, okay? So this shows you, like some of my clients, and Carissa, okay? She's in her 30s. She's a female. She lives in Idaho. She's a 6-figure income earner. She's single. She is a parent. She's white, and she is what I would call influential, which means that she is well connected in the community. Okay, so that's what influential means. Enjoyable means, oh my gosh, I love working with them so much. Working with them fills my cup. It fills my heart with joy. P, profitable, is that they are the biggest money maker. Like you have made significant income working with that client. Okay, and so I have a really good mix here. And so I use this, so I go through my top 5 clients and my last 5 clients, and there may be overlap, okay? And so I go through my list. I basically go through my customer database, and I choose my top 5 and my last 5, and I wrote them down, okay? So you would need 10 rows, 9 columns, all right? And then once you fill that information out, then you're going to transfer that on. You're going to do part 2. Okay. Part 2 is going to be then their name. What did they buy? When did they buy it? And how did they find you? those questions are really super important because this is going to help you actually build a marketing strategy. Because if you know when did they buy, well, now you'd be like, oh, look at all these people that all bought from me in this month, in December, for example. What did I do in December that brought about all of these people hiring me? Huh, interesting, right? And then what did they buy? So did they all buy the same thing? Did they buy something different? What did they buy? And how did they find you? Was this a Facebook ad? Was this a referral? Was this a networking group that you're a part of? Like, how did they find you? So most of mine, 1, 2, 3, 4, are all polka dot powerhouse sisters, and one was a referral from a polka dot powerhouse sister. Isn't that interesting? I know, it's very fascinating. So then the next part of this is now after you've gone through all of this, you can evaluate that data and say, who is missing? Who is missing? So, who is missing? So, looking at your industry, looking at your clients, who is missing? So, for me, I'm just going to share with you what I wrote down because I've already done the work, so that you can kind of just gonna get an idea of what this might look like. So who is missing from my top 5, my last 5? Men, diversity in ethnicity and race, women in their 20s, women in their 50s is missing. I have one that's 60, and then I have everyone else is kind of in their 30s and 40s. Startups, direct sales, and students. So like that's like who is missing from my list when I look at my customers. And then I look at the industry. So the industry that I serve are coaches. I am a coach who helps coaches. So when I look at the coaching industry, I typically see mostly women. Now, the funny thing is, if I go onto another platform like Clubhouse, I see so many men that are coaches. And it kind of blew my mind. I'm not even going to lie to you. I was like, this is where all the dudes are hanging out. They're hanging out on Clubhouse. They're not hanging out on Facebook. Do you see what I'm saying? So just by switching that up a little bit, and then I also see a lot of male coaches on LinkedIn. I don't see a lot of them on Instagram, and I don't see a lot of them on Facebook. At least I have not immersed myself. If they are out there, I don't see a whole lot of them. I seem to women attract women sort of situation. So I have not gone and dove into find groups or anything like that where men are the primary, right? So I just noticed that I don't have any men that are that I'm coaching. I would like to coach a man, but that would be something that I would want to work on, is targeting that. And then I would also want to work on how can I attract women of color or men of color into my database, because right now I'm attracting white ladies, so I want to have a diverse mix. I want to have an age, a diversity of ages. I want to be able to also help young women and men who want to start a business. I want to be able to help women in their 50s even with growing a business after they've decided to leave the corporate world. Like really think about that and go, who is missing? Who do I want to help that I'm not currently helping? So the next question after this, who is missing, is what would focusing on serving this underserved demographic look like for you? And for me, I was like, okay, well, maybe I could offer some DIY classes to people who are starting up. right, is a way to kind of like, I have to build credibility and authority and expertise with people that I don't know. These people don't know me from Adam, and I just can't go out there and start promoting myself and people are going to automatically trust me. They don't know me. So I have to do something in order to help build that trust, that know, like, trust factor. We've all heard that, right? So teaching is a way that I can do that. So that could be a way that I could start to reach out and start to serve that underserved demographic, is to teach and attract those people to me. Okay. And then our last worksheet here is what is missing. So this is going to be some really specific questions that I want you to answer that is going to really help you here. I'm going to go through some of the comments really quick. I just scrolled and realized that I was only seeing a few of them. So let's see here. All right. Growth mindset. Linda says, I'm just starting with Trenot. I've never heard of that, so I apologize if I pronounce it incorrectly. Trenot Health Wellness Healthcare Provider. Let's see here. Webinars. If they want to see the products, they can call and want to buy it. My clients are missing the industry I represent or online. Okay, so Linda, it sounds like you might just be getting started, right? And so when you were just getting started, I have all kinds of, I'm a pop rock girl. I get all kinds of ideas. So when you are first starting out and you need to build a clientele, it has to be more than a webinar. It has to be more than, here, watch this webinar and buy these products. It has to be more than that. I'm just going to be really honest with you, because I would appreciate someone being honest with me when I was starting out in business. It has to be more than that. So what you need to do is you need to figure out, how can you become the expert? I need you to learn everything you can about that industry. And I need you to dive in really super deep. And I need you to really ask yourself, who is it that has this problem? Who am I trying to help? Like, specifically. Okay. The industry is online. Great. But who specifically needs your help? Like, if you're in the health wellness, healthcare provider, like, who is that? So are you trying to help healthcare providers, or are you trying to, like, I just want to understand a little bit more. So if you can get me a little more specific with that, that would be really helpful. So here are some other questions that I want you to dive in deeper with. When you think about your customer, Linda, talking to you here. When you think about who your potential customers are, they're out there in the world, they need you. What have they tried before that did not work? So there are people out there that have been trying to solve a problem that they have for a long time. They've tried every avenue. So I'm going to use the wellness, and I'm going to use health and wellness as an example right now. So when I think of health and wellness, I think of fitness, and I think of nutrition and things like that. So if I was a nutrition coach, or I was in that industry, I would say that my clients have tried every diet in the land, like every diet possible. Nothing works, because diets are not meant to work. Right? I have a whole, don't even get me started on that. But anyways, that would be the thing that they have tried multiple times, is being on a diet to lose weight, to feel healthy. So what have your clients tried that has not worked? That what you have to offer is the solution. Why is yours different? How is your solution better than all of the others that they've tried before? So, like, for me, for my business, my customers, my coaches that I coach have tried online courses before. They've tried online courses and they don't stick with them. Why? because it's an online course and there's no accountability. They need accountability. So that's what I know because I've done my research. It didn't work. So why didn't it work? That is the next question. Why didn't this work? And it didn't work because it wasn't personalized. It wasn't custom. It was pre-recorded and they just weren't like super invested. It was a low cost, $37 online course. And they're like, yeah, I'll get to it when I get to it. And then before you know it, they forget all about it. And they keep going along their journey in a puddle of chaos. So $37 product versus an offer or a program that is going to cost thousands of dollars. Which one do you think is going to give people the best results? Are you going to show up for a $37 program? I'm not. Am I going to show up for a $1,000 program or a program that costs $5,000 or $10,000? I'm going to show up for that because why? Because I invested a lot more money. There's a lot more investment there. And it forces me to show up and do the work when I've spent thousands of dollars versus $37. So that's why my clients say, well, I took all these online courses, but I didn't actually sign up and actually follow through with it. So the next question is, what do they really need? So the clients that you serve, the clients that you want to serve, what do they really need? There's a phrase that I love, which is, sell them what they want, give them what they need. So the thing is, I have a client who helps people with emotional eating. Okay, she's a emotional eating psychology coach. And her thing is, people come to her because they want to lose weight. That's the surface issue. They want to lose weight. What they really need is to heal the emotional trauma that is causing them to use food as a coping mechanism. They don't know that. So that is way underneath. So you have the surface issue is, I want to lose weight. The deep-seated issue is there's trauma and coping mechanisms that are unhealthy. Do they know that this is happening? Maybe. Are they going to go out and search for someone to say, how do I heal my trauma and stop using food as a coping mechanism? No. People don't really search for that. They're not searching for that. So what are your potential clients searching for? What are the Google, it's so fascinating to see what people search on Google to find you. What are they searching for? They're searching to solve a problem, but what is the surface problem that they think they're trying to solve? But then once you start to work with them, you see that there's something way deep down underneath all of that surface crap. That's what you really want to help them with, but they don't know that. So you don't have to even talk about that in your marketing or anything like that, because it's not even registering that that's really the problem. All they think is the surface issue. I hope that makes sense. I talk so much, I always need a little palate wetter. Okay. Our next question is going to be, how will working with you give them an unfair advantage? If their problem is solved, how does that improve their life, their business, their career, their health, their relationships? So what are they actually going to get? Okay, Linda, I'm seeing your comment here. So before I answer that, I'm going to focus on this for just a second here. So, how will working with you give them an unfair advantage? So thinking about solving their problem quicker, how will it improve their life now? How will things help them now versus if they wait 5 years they're going to be in pain, they're going to be suffering, they're going to be whatever. If they don't solve the problem, then what's going to happen? So for me, my business, how my clients will get an unfair advantage is if they get results and they start making money quicker. I help people make money, right? And so they're going to also learn the right way to run a business versus doing it how I did it, which was learning as I go and trying to figure out how to make everything fit like a puzzle. And I made a lot of mistakes because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I just wanted to take pictures. I didn't know how to run a business. And now that I'm a business coach, I've taken everything I learned running a photography business and have said, this is the right way, this is the wrong way, right? So those are the worksheet questions that I went through for you guys today to help you kind of figure out these questions. Answering these questions is going to only help you find your gold mine. Okay. Okay, so Trenant sells a type of example. The life products are enzymes that help you if you have a lot of digestive issues. Gas and bloating by taking life, I'm less to eat dairy products. Okay, so the webinar will tell you about the products and how they can. Okay. So I'm trying to read, sorry, Linda, it was kind of, some of the words are not spelled correctly, or like, I'm having a hard time really understanding what it is, but I think I get it, is that you're selling, I'm going to assume that this is a direct sales company. And so the thing that you need to do, I'm just going to tell you this straight up. If you are in direct sales or any sort of network marketing company, you have huge hurdles to overcome, because there are a lot of people out there that believe that these are scams and pyramid things, right? So you have a lot of overcoming this obstacle to face. And if you just send people messages and say, hey, will you watch this webinar and then buy these products, you will lose friends very quickly. I'm just going to straight up tell you that right now. So in order to break through that, you have to be more than that company. You have to be your own brand. You have to be your own voice, because I'm going to give you an example. Okay. So I have a friend who is in the beauty industry, and she worked for a direct sales company in the beauty industry. That beauty industry closed. It shut its doors. And everybody was left except her. And do you know why? Because she built a brand around her. So the company that she represented was more like a supplement. It was not, she helped people first. Whether they bought the product or not, she had her own thing. I am my own brand. And the products that I'm going to use to supplement and to help people are here. But what the main focus was she was the brand. It was not the company. The company was not the brand. She was front and center. And what she did was she positioned herself as the expert in the beauty products, in the beauty care, in the beauty everything. And then basically showcased that these were the products that she used. Okay, so it could also be someone like a Pampered Chef consultant, for example. So someone who likes to cook, who wants to help people cook healthy meals. She teaches people how to do that. And the products, the Pampered Chef products, are a supplement. They are not the main focus. So what you have to do if you want to truly be successful in this is you have to stand out as a person whose whole goal and mission is to help people solve this problem of having gas and bloating and things like that. Your focus is not the products. Your focus is helping people. And then the products that you sell are a supplement but they are not the main focus. So what I have encouraged people to do is that if you are going to be in the health and wellness industry, you have to be really careful. And I'm just going to tell you this right now. You have to be really careful because they're getting stricter and stricter on regulating those sorts of products that people are offering. And you have to have special licenses and things like that. So I just want you to be careful, and I want you to focus on helping people first, selling products second. So helping people first, what does that look like? How can you help people first? What is a way that you can help people first without selling them anything? What is a way that you can get paid as helping them first and having a product secondary? So is that health and wellness coaching? Is that becoming a dietitian? Is that becoming a nutritionist? Like, what is that thing? And then you have, again, these products as secondary supplement. So be a person first, not a product. Okay, that is the best advice that I can give you, especially if you are just starting out. I don't want you to make the same mistake that I see a lot of other people make, and then all of a sudden they have no friends anymore because the companies are, and I'm going to say this in the most tactful way that I possibly can. There have been a lot of companies who have been shut down because they have been proven to be pyramid schemes, and because the focus is on the recruitment and not on the product, selling the product. You get paid more if you recruit. So you have to be careful that whatever company you choose to go with their focus is not recruitment, that their focus is on helping people. Do you know what I'm saying? Because it would suck if you took all of this time and you built all of this to basically have that company get sued or go under. Like LuLaRoe got sued, right, for being a pyramid scheme. And they were selling leggings that I actually love. And I still have a bunch of LuLaRoe leggings. But their company got sued because they didn't follow. They were more about recruitment than they were about selling the products. And you can't do that. It's considered a pyramid scheme. So what can you do to separate yourself? Be a person first. What certifications, what education, what can you do to be a person who, if you truly want to help people solve this problem, how can you do that without necessarily only selling these products? How can you become a person first and help people first? Secondary product. Okay? So I hope that's helpful. I hate to feel like I'm going to rain on someone's parade when you're really super excited about things, but you have to figure out a way to stand out, because doing what everyone else is doing is not going to help you stand out. If you want to get a different result, you have to be willing to do something different. And that is something that I talk about all the time. And it's because it's true. So when I get into a slump or where I am doing the same thing and going, gosh, why isn't this working? Oh, I need to try something different. And that triggers me to go, all right, what are you going to do differently? Okay, video. Okay, I haven't done video yet for this campaign, so I'm going to do a video, right? So I have to tell myself, I have to almost trick myself in saying, what do I have to do differently? How am I going to show up differently this time? Because last time I did that and it worked okay, but I didn't really get the results I wanted. So what if I try it this way this time? I have to be willing to do something different. I have a quote up on my wall. I have several actually that I'll read to you. The first one says at the top, nothing changes if nothing changes. And that basically to me means, what are you going to do differently? If you want to get a different result, you got to be willing to do something different. The next one is, be yourself. Everyone else is already taken. That is the second quote on my wall. And that basically means stop trying to be everyone else. You do you. You are the best be the best version of yourself, but do not try to copy or emulate anyone, because you can never be them and you shouldn't try to be. You are good enough just the way that you are. Okay. And the third one that I have is sometimes you win and sometimes you learn. So what that means is that, so there's a book I read called If Life is a Game, These Are the Rules, way back in the day, Oprah's book club book. And one of the things that was in that book was that you will be presented with lessons. That was one of the rules. I think it was number two. Rule number two, you'll be presented with lessons. And the next rule is that there are no mistakes, only lessons. And then the next rule is lessons will be repeated until learned. So if you keep making the same mistake over and over and over and over and over again and wondering why you keep making that same mistake, is because you have to be willing to break that cycle. You have to be willing to do something different. And that means that if you don't learn the lesson the first time, it's going to repeat itself. And then I'm going to tell you this other thing. That lesson is going to come back again to test you to make sure that you're going to handle it differently this time. I'm just telling you, it's Murphy's Law, the circle of life. It will come back to test you to make sure, are you sure you really learned that lesson that last time? So, got off on a little tangent there. Sorry, Tia. But anyways, using this to find your gold mine is going to help you stand out in your industry. That is the whole reason for doing this, is that in a sea of 1,000 million people that do what you do, that sell what you sell, how are you going to stand out? How are you going to be different? You have to be different on purpose. You have to be different with intention. And when you can find that underserved, untapped people, industry, in your industry, that's who you need to focus on. That's where your gold mine is hiding. Okay. So I hope this was helpful. But feel free to reach out to me. I did drop my website in the comments. If you want to reach out to me, you can totally do so. I'm all over Facebook. You can send me a message if you need help. But I'm more than happy to do that. But I hope you guys all have a super great day. Thank you so much, Tia, for having me. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you guys later.